Bang, bang, more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Here we are in the SEC Country studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, it's so nice to be in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a lie. I don't enjoy it even a little bit. Not even kind of. I need dirt roads and bass fishing and catfish. That's what I need in my life. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast. Here we are in SEC Country. We're going to talk about baseball today. Mississippi State baseball. I don't know if you've heard. It's in all the papers. Going to Omaha to play in the College World Series. That's where the 8 best teams in the country go every year to decide a national champion. If you follow other teams in the state, you might not know that, but that is, in fact, true. Mississippi State going to Omaha to play for the national championship with 7 other teams. Excited about that. We'll talk about it. I was going to have a guest, but apparently our phone lines aren't working here at the SEC Country Studios. Have we already started lapsing on our bills, Terp?
I guess so.
Have we not
Everything's crumbling right
not paid up the phone bill, huh? All right. Danielle Wayland Gode says, Noonan, Georgia checking in. Hello, Danielle Wayland Gode. Brookhaven, Gary A. Blair. Go Dogs from New Braunfels, Texas, says Les Young. Hail State from Holcomb, Mississippi, up in, that's Howard Woodard up in Holcomb, Mississippi. I believe Robert Woodard is from Holcomb, Mississippi. Hail State from West Point, Cale Pierce. Carolyn Crane Lindley from Dallas, Texas. Brookhaven again, Grady Stokes. Hail State from Petal, Karen Morgan DeWeese. Matt Weisinger just says hi, because Matt Weisinger is that guy. Hail State from Meridian, Mississippi. Lane Davis, I went back and watched the show. You asked me, hey, you lived in Meridian? Yes, I did. 2007, 2008. I lived there early in my career, out on Causeyville Road. Point City, Cale Pierce. Cale, you already said West Point. You don't get to be called out twice. I'm sorry. Tracy Davis, Point City. Drew Newell, Hail State. Hail State from Forney, Texas. Stephen C. Wright. Nate Knox says hello. Caribou, Maine, Hail State. That's a new one. Dustin Cook. I haven't seen Caribou, Maine here before. Hail State from Point City, T.C. Lenore. Hail State from Iowa. Wow. IA is Iowa, right? It's not Indiana. IN is Indiana. IA is.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
IA is Iowa.
Iowa. Thank you. IL is Illinois.
Yes.
IN is Indiana.
Mm-hmm. And IA, Iowa.
IP means I need to go to the bathroom.
God.
I know exactly where Causeyville is. Outstanding. Outstanding. Your shows are limited, Brandon. Got to let you know I'm here. No, they're not. They're limited at SEC Country, but they're not limited in total. I'll still be here. Hail State from Brooklyn, Mississippi. Angel Dearman, you just made Brooklyn, Mississippi up. That does not exist. There's no way Brooklyn, Mississippi exists. Jesse Brand Garner, Houston, Mississippi, over there in Chickasaw County. When do they play and what time? Janice Wilson Salter, 7 p.m. Central Time Saturday night. Mississippi State plays Washington. I believe it'll be on ESPN. They play Washington at 7 p.m. Central Saturday night. All right. Reggie Todd arrested. Yeah, simple assault or something. I don't know the facts on that. I just know Reggie Todd, the receiver, was arrested for simple assault last night. Don't know anything more than that. Probably not a big deal in the long run, but I would like to see our players stop getting arrested for silly small things. I would like for them to do us a solid and stop doing that, but I don't know the facts at all. Drake One Key checking in from West Point. Jerry Hutchison from Booneville, Mississippi. Eddie Baker from Macomb, Mississippi. South Haven is here. Betty Kelly. Hello, South Haven. So, yeah, we're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about getting down to the business of winning a national title. We'll talk about Washington a little bit, what they look like in Game 1. We'll talk about Joe Moorhead. He had a nice, positive, glowing article by Andy Staples in Sports Illustrated yesterday, sportsillustrated.com, so check that out. We'll talk about that positive press. And then we'll discuss, I'm going to discuss my show. We'll talk about my show, and I'll give you some show updates, some show ideas as we move into the future of more Cowbell and Brandon Walker. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Christian Rojas. Gary Wilson from West Point. Wow, West Point's representing today. We got a lot of West Point today. The Bryan Public Library must be full. Hail State from Burnsville, Mississippi, up in Tishomingo County. Whatever happened to the receiver from Hines, says Michael Clyburn. Stephen Guidry is the receiver from Hines. He will be at State in August. He will be a football player for the Bulldogs this year, and I would assume he's going to be the best receiver we have. I think that situation is all good. Courtney Leanne Walker from Point City. Austin Townsend from D'Iberville, home of the 2002 4A state champions. At least that's pretty much all I know about D'Iberville. 2002 state champion. I like the show, says Eddie Baker. Thank you. I do too, Eddie. I really like this show. It's probably my favorite Mississippi State podcast. Hail State, says Keith D'Angelo. Winona, Mississippi, Kay Blanton at the intersection of 82 and 55. Hail State from Nesbitt, Mississippi, Rena Hendricks Stark. Nice shirt. Thank you, Lynn Rhodes Gilmer. You know where I got this? Maroon & Company. I'll talk about it in a minute. Steve C. says they may be the Omaha Dogs to everyone else, but for me, they have been the OMG Dogs this season. That's not bad. Christian Rojas says, did you really think Will Salmon was a great beat writer? I did. I absolutely did. Will Salmon, the best beat writer we've had in years. He was fair. He was good. He was a good writer. Mississippi State fans haven't always been used to great beat writers on the beat, but Will was very, very good. He's gone now, but I have a feeling he's not gone very far. Are you and your wife signed up for the Hugh Freeze retreat? Landshark, I didn't talk about this, but I should have. Can you look on Twitter and find a picture of that Hugh Freeze retreat brochure or that advertisement? It should be easy. Just search Hugh Freeze retreat and see if you can find that, because during the show, I want you to pop that on the screen towards the end, and I want to react to it. I didn't write out any jokes, but I just want to react to it. Betty Harrington, Hail State from Carson, Mississippi. Betty Joyce Harrington. Hail State from very, very wet Ripley, Mississippi. Good morning, Brandon. Nick Stevens. Ripley up there in Benton County or Tippah County. I can never remember which one it's in. It's in one of those. My brother-in-law is from Ripley. Has a tractor dealership there. Checking in, Hail State from Alabama. Keon DeWan Nettles. John Stringer says, Freeze retreat, are you serious? Oh, we are serious. Huh? Yeah, there's a picture. It might be on Hugh Freeze's Facebook page. I know you're a fan of that. Hail State from Aiken, South Carolina. Jason Cockrell. Could you imagine? Listen, if you got a chance to spend $4,000 to get marriage advice from Hugh freaking Freeze, you got to do it, right? You got to do it. What is going on? Can you imagine coming home, honey, I know things haven't been going that well for us lately. I know you've been upset with me, but I'm going to fix it. All right? I'm going to fix it. I'm going to go to the bank account, take out $4,000, and we're going to go get advice from Hugh Freeze. That was a mistake. My headphones are way over there. Will somebody come get them? Do I have to get them myself? I've got to go off camera to get my headphones. I should not have done that.
That's what I'm about to get.
Somebody says, what is the retreat about? It's about fixing your marriage or fighting through adversity or something. It's about giving Hugh Freeze money for being a cheater. That's what it's about. Oh. How close is Lakeside, Florida to Tampa? Ethan Fleury, it's not Lakeside, it's Seaside, and it's not very close at all. But I do like the joke. All right. Landshark, you seem to be failing spectacularly on finding the Freeze retreat. Fantastic. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That's where we'll be. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That's where this show will launch very soon. Please go like that page. If you like this show, if you appreciate this show, if you want this show to continue, or even if you hate this show, please go like Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That is our new home. It'll be a community of Mississippi State fans. It won't just be a Facebook page for the show. It'll have a lot of stuff going on. Please go like that right now. Patreon.com. Hey, I'd like some money. Well, we can do the freeze thing a little bit later. Just keep it. You got it ready, though? I got a thumbs up there. A thumbs in the middle. Wow.
Just to make it. She found it.
A thumb in the middle. I think you got to pay extra for that at the freeze retreat. Patreon.com/More Cowbell. That's where you can give me money to continue doing this show. I would like it. And I'm going to have some Patreon-only content. I got some exciting stuff coming up very, very soon that I can announce very soon. MoreCowbellShow@gmail.com. MoreCowbellShow@gmail.com. That's where you can email the show. Email me if you want to talk to me, if you want to tell me I'm stupid, if you want to tell me I'm ugly, if you want to tell me I'm pretty, whatever. MoreCowbellShow@gmail.com. Also, I kind of want you guys to send me pictures of your old cowbells. I'm creating a background for my new show, and my idea is to create a background out of pictures of old cowbells. So if you email me a picture of your vintage cowbell, your good-looking cowbell, your well-used cowbell to morecowbellshow@gmail.com, you might end up in that background. Maybe Brandon should host a Point City retreat. That's right. That's right. For $2,000, you can come play basketball with me at Super Park for at least 15 minutes. We can then go eat at the Captain D's right across the street from the Mossy Oak outlet. You can't go to the Mossy Oak outlet because I can't afford anything in there, but there's a Walmart nearby. So $2,000, Brandon Walker retreat. I don't know about your marriage. I barely save mine on a daily basis, so I don't know what I could do with yours. All right. Dane Lewis says, I look forward to your podcast every day. Fridays I am lost. Friday shows are coming soon. Shows coming soon. You, okay. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Let's go.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
Terp, how much effort did you put into the SEC sign that you're now holding up every time the show comes on? How much effort did you put into that?
About 75 seconds.
About 75 seconds. It looks like a 75-second effort, but I like the effort. All right, that's 75 seconds of effort I didn't have. Brandon Walker, the More Cowbell Show here on SEC Country. For now, we are really giving you our best as we head down towards the finish line. We're sprinting towards the finish. Around or down the stretch they come. Almost made a Canizaro joke there, but I didn't. I did not. Hey, More Cowbell, Brandon Walker, the Mississippi State Podcast here on SEC Country. We got a lot to talk about today. Am I off center on the camera? I need to scoot over.
Scoot
okay.
To your left.
Thank you very. Oh, that looks better. We are officially ringing in here on a Wednesday here in the SEC Country Studio. Is today Wednesday? Thank you. On a Wednesday here in the SEC Country Studio. Today we're going to talk about baseball. Mississippi State going to Omaha. I think the euphoria dying down a little bit as we realize, hey, now it's time to get down to the business of going and winning a national title. I'll talk about that. Joe Moorhead was the subject of a Sports Illustrated article, SI.com, by Andy Staples. More positive press for Joe Moorhead and Mississippi State. I'll talk about that. I'll have a show update. I'm going to go into a little detail about the business plan and what I want to do with my show very, very soon. And then our favorite. You know it. You love it. I love it. It's the best thing we do on this show. Yesterday we had a shot of Jim. It was great. Today, a shot of Jack. Jack Crystal, the greatest to ever do it. We'll talk about Jack Crystal. We'll celebrate 4 of his calls on this show in just a little bit. So hang around for that. Before we get started, let me tell you, this shirt I'm wearing, this beautiful Mississippi State baseball logo polo, got it at Maroon & Company. Father's Day coming up very soon. Maroon & Company, maroonandco.com. At Maroon & Co. on Twitter and Instagram. Check them out. They have got an incredible selection. They got the Rally Banana shirts. The Rally Banana shirts are going very fast. I understand they're at their last order right now. They're going to sell out soon. But if you want one, go get one. Tell them Brandon Walker sent you, and they might say congratulations for knowing Brandon Walker. I have no idea. But maybe they'll come up with something neat. I don't know. That's Maroon & Company, Highway 12 in Starkville, and go check them out. Now, Mississippi State baseball going to Omaha. I don't know if you've heard that. I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's in all the papers. Mississippi State going to Omaha. That is where the 8 best teams in the country get together to decide a national champion. If you follow any other teams in the state of Mississippi, you might not know that, but it is true. The 8 best teams in the country go to Omaha to play for the College World Series championship. That's what Mississippi State's going to do this week. They're going to play Washington. So what does all this mean? It means Mississippi State is 5 wins from a national championship. And it just seems, it's amazing to me. and I'm going to go off on a rabbit trail before I even get to the main point, but 10 years ago, I had never seen Mississippi State play for a national title. In 2013, I saw it. In 2017, I saw it. 2018, I saw it. And I might see it again in 2018. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but the possibility exists. Just an amazing time to be a Mississippi State fan. Timing is everything, and I got into this podcast business right when Mississippi State was hitting a golden era of athletics. But Mississippi State has the third best odds to get to the championship series. Mississippi State, if you look at the cumulative records for each of the 8 teams against the others, Mississippi State is 6-0 against this College World Series field, 3-0 against Florida, 3-0 against Arkansas. Far and away the best record between teams in this particular College World Series. I think the better teams, I think Florida's very good. I think Arkansas is very good. Texas Tech very good. They're all on the other side of the bracket. Oregon State's good too, but the other side of the bracket a little heavier than the side of the bracket we are on. That is good. Mississippi State playing Washington. Washington is a good team now. They went 20-10 in Pac-12 play. They're very, very similar, I think, if you just look at their season to Mississippi State. They got one big hitter. They got a hitter, Joe Wainhouse, who has 19 home runs, hit 312 on the season, 59 RBIs. Big-time slugger, actually transferred from Ole Miss, which tells you a lot about his decision-making. So I respect him. I definitely respect Joe Wainhouse. Big-time hitter. Their next highest home run total is 8, and then I think they got 6, and then it falls down to 2. So they're a lot like Mississippi State outside Wainhouse, where you don't have a lot of big-time home run hitters. You just got a lot of scrappy hitters, a lot of hitters that are going to make you pay for mistakes and push counts and stuff like that. Washington has one ace, Joe Demers, 2.56 ERA, 92 Ks, and 123 innings, 7-3 on the year. Not otherworldly, good pitcher. Certainly Washington's best, and I assume that's who Mississippi State's going to face on Saturday night. But I look at Washington, and it's almost like looking in the mirror at times. They started poorly this year. They lost 3 of 4 to Illinois State. They lost 2 to Sacramento State. They lost to Seattle this year. They lost to UT Rio Grande Valley. They lost to Portland State. They entered conference play with a losing record. They were 7-8 when they got to conference play. And then they went 20-10 in the Pac-12. Then they won the Coastal Carolina Regional. They beat the host once. They beat Coastal Carolina and they beat UConn to win that regional. And they beat Cal State Fullerton in 3 games. So you've got a team who started poorly, who got it together, and is now very, very hot. That's a lot like Mississippi State. But if you're picking out of a hat, if you're picking the other 7 teams out of the hat for your first opponent in College World Series, you want Washington to be on that sheet of paper, and that's what Mississippi State has. It's the only 3 seed there. But to me, the opponent for Mississippi State really doesn't matter anymore. I just don't know that the opponent matters to this team, whether it's Vanderbilt or Florida State or Oklahoma. It just doesn't matter who the opponent is. It's about how Mississippi State plays. It's about them playing loose. It's about them 1 through 9 having good at-bats. It's about them getting enough bullpen pitching, enough starting pitching to piece together wins. It's about Mississippi State. I really don't care what Washington is, who they are, or who's on the other side. If Mississippi State continues to play with the reckless abandon they played, Mississippi State can win a national title. Will this team stay hot in Omaha? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. The scene changes. I like every time there's been pressure this year. Every time there's been pressure. You come home, your season's about to spiral out of control. You're hosting number 3 Ole Miss. You beat them 2 out of 3. You need some more wins. You come home, you're playing Super Bowl Bulldog weekend in front of big crowds, a lot of excitement. You sweep Arkansas. You come into the very last series of the season needing at least 1, maybe 2 wins to get into Hoover, and you sweep Florida. You get down to your final strike twice against Florida State, the regional host. You walk them off, get rid of them, and then you run through Oklahoma and Sanford. You give up a walk-off home run in the Game 2 of the Super Regional. You give up a 3-run lead in Game 3 of the Super Regional. Doesn't matter. Mississippi State fights through and wins that game, goes to Omaha. So I don't know if they'll stay hot in Omaha, but every time their pressure has been ratcheted up, Mississippi State has answered. Every time it has been tough, every time there's been bright lights, Mississippi State has answered. And the lights are going to be bright in Omaha. Going to be a lot of pressure, and I would rather go to war with no other group of players than this group we have here. Going to be a quick show today as I get through. We were going to have a guest, but our phone lines aren't working, so we were going to have Brett Hudson of the Commercial Dispatch, who has just assumed the mantle of best beat writer covering Mississippi State University. He has just inherited that from Will Salmon, who announced yesterday he is leaving. But we'll have Brett Hudson hopefully on the show tomorrow. More positive press. Joe Moorhead had an article in Sports Illustrated yesterday. Andy Staples spent some time with Joe Moorhead. It's really nothing new. I had Joe Moorhead on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to him at the Road Dogs tour, and he said a lot of these same talking points. But now they're getting national play instead of just regional play. The theme to Joe Moorhead's article here, the theme to his tenure at Mississippi State, is to go from good to great. It's to take Mississippi State from a good program that Dan Mullen built, and it is a good program that Dan Mullen built, and he did build it, and turn that into a great one, turn that into a championship one. The words he keeps using are championship standard. He is not going to be satisfied with going 4-4 in the SEC. That is very clear. Now, it's very easy to say this. It's harder to accomplish it, but at least he is saying it. When Dan Mullen arrived, it wasn't talking about a championship standard. When Dan Mullen arrived, he had a much different build. He had to build from scratch. He had to focus on the Egg Bowl and put a countdown clock in there and say, we got to turn the tide in this state first, and then we go national. And he did that. He did that very well. But Joe Moorhead inherits a roster that is loaded and ready to win now. So the next step for this team is championships. The next step for this program is to be a consistent winner of 5, 6, 7 SEC games a year. Joe Moorhead has pointed out many times, State has been good. They've been a bowl team, and they have bordered on great at times. But over the last 15 years, they have one winning record in the SEC. That's 6-2 in 2014. You got to do better than that. I don't know what the future holds, but I know Joe Moorhead has got his head on the right way, and I know he is aiming his gun the right direction. So everything about Joe Moorhead so far has passed the smell test to me. And that's not a surprise to you guys. I gush about him all the time, but now it's going national in these Sports Illustrated. And as the season gets closer, you'll see more of this positive press from Mississippi State. And I'm very, very excited about that. We're going to get to a shot of Jack in about 3 minutes. Let me go ahead and tell you, I got a couple of show updates. So we were doing fine. I have built this show, Terp, Landshark, we have built this show into a big-time enterprise. I get 3, 4, 5,000 podcast listens a day. I get 2, 3, 4, 5,000 Facebook views a day. It's big time. It's been fun, but SEC Country is going away. Cox Media Group decided SEC Country not worth the trouble anymore, so we're out the door. But that doesn't end what I'm doing. Instead, I'm not going to be working for anybody else anymore. I'm taking this show, I'm taking the name, I'm taking what we built, and I'm going into business for myself. I'm going to sell my own ads. I'm going to do my own business. I'm not working for anybody anymore. All right, I'm Brandon freaking Walker. Now, I talked about this briefly yesterday, but I want to tell all of you now. What we're going to do, here's kind of the plan for the future. It's not just going to be a podcast and Facebook Live anymore. That will be the centerpiece of this little state community I'm going to build. I'll have a website. I bought the domain yesterday. We'll roll that out in July. I'll write game stories. I'll write stories. I'll write my reaction to what happened on Saturday. I'll write jokes about Ole Miss. I'll write all this stuff. I will have content directly from me on the website. It'll be fun stuff. It's going to be the same sarcastic tone that I have on here will basically be on that website. I'll have an email list that I'll send an email out every single day of nuggets of, Mississippi State and Ole Miss jokes, whatever. I'll have an email list that you guys can join very, very soon. I'd like to start taking the show on the road. I'd like to start going through Mississippi. If you're a state guy, if you're a state fan, you own a restaurant, I'll come to your place and you'll get the rub. I'll get to do a show from there. I don't care if it's in Pascagoula. I don't care if it's in Natchez. I don't care if it's in Clarksdale. I don't care if it's in Oxford. That's a lie. I care if it's in Oxford. I don't care if it's in Olive Branch, Manatee, Tumsuba, Butt Crack. I don't care where it is. I'll come there. I will have Patreon-only content. Patreon, a monthly subscription service. I'm going to do some 3-4 hour deep dive podcasts about some special stuff that will be interesting there. But number one, I want this to be a community of state fans. We have the same people that show up here every day. To have the same people that listen to the podcast every day. I'd like to connect us all. I'd like to start my own tailgate at Mississippi State. It's going to be a community with me providing content at the center of it. And please, I'll have a one-time donation thing coming up very, very soon, probably tomorrow. If you want to help out, help out. If you don't, that's fine too. But that's kind of the plan going forward. Now, are you ready? All right, let's get fired up. This is what you've all been waiting for. Yesterday we had a shot of Jim, and frankly, I couldn't sleep last night because I was still fired up about it. But Jack Crystal, for 55 years, sat behind a microphone and described the action of Mississippi State baseball, football, and basketball. He did that. He did that better than anybody has ever done it. He was the best college play-by-play announcer of all time, and he was ours. He was Mississippi State. Did I say ours? He was ours. He was Mississippi State through and through. He was true Maroon, whatever you want to say. He was the greatest. So every now and then we like to celebrate Jack Crystal's, some of his greatest calls, and we're going to do that today. I don't even know the order of these. So Terp, go with clip number 1.
At their own 38 now. And they'll come wide to the right after gambling for the long gainer. Lewis Clark wide to the right, a slot back fit in that direction. Tennessee shifting their secondary defense as Clark goes in motion. Here's the inside option play. Don Smith breaks it, goes down the sidelines at the 40, racing to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Don Smith.
Oh, man. Don Smith, the pride of Hamilton, Mississippi. 1986, September, maybe early October. I'm standing on the banks of Tibby Creek in rural Clay County, Mississippi, as my dad is probably drunk and we're about to get in a boat and go run trot lines. That is the absolute truth. And on his old Chevy green truck, Jack Crystal is describing Don Smith running down the sidelines, and my dad ran down the bank of the creek and stepped on a snake. That is what happened. It was quite a memory. But Don Smith, I can see it to this day. 1986 Tennessee, it was incredible. Incredible. A great call, too. Fantastic call. Clip number 2.
The ball is going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. Auburn will remain first down, about 22 yards to go. After the face mask grab, they're working with the wide side of the field to the left. The near side is the Auburn side of the field to the right. Auburn sends Smith wide to the right, offsets the fullback, puts a wing back to the left, keeps Tate in, and now Musma motion with the fullback, Stewart, going deep to the left, and Cox wants to throw underneath, throws and pops in the air. Ball intercepted. Bulldogs Pegues grabs it off. He's going for a touchdown.
Oh, tip drill again. That one was tipped up in the air, and Pegues broke on it beautifully, and there was nothing between him and the end zone, and the Bulldogs quickly get in on an interception for the second consecutive week early in the ball game. In fact, on the first Tulane possession, an interception return last week by Gabe O'Neill for a touchdown.
2007, Mississippi State at Auburn. Mississippi State beats Auburn that day. Kind of set in motion an incredible season of many pick sixes and many defensive touchdowns that led to Sylvester Croom's only bowl. 2007 Auburn. I don't remember the final score, but I know we went down there. I know Christian Dupree had a big-time touchdown at the end as Mississippi State beats Auburn. I was in my front yard in Meridian, Mississippi at the time, working on my Jeep, I think. I don't know why I was outside so much. Apparently, back then I was outdoors a lot. Not outdoors as much these days. But I was watching. I had the TV turned facing out the window, and I was listening to Jack Crystal on the radio. So that was my setup. Incredible. Jack Crystal. Clip number 3.
So it's a pretty simple scenario with Kentucky leading 76-73 and 5 seconds to go. The scenario is this: get the ball inbounds. We're speaking of Mississippi State. Put in the hands of a shooter who can shoot from 3-point range, whatever that might be. It's anywhere in the arena now. 3 points is anywhere in the arena. And obviously past the 3-point mark. For the Kentucky, the scenario is don't let the guys in the white shirts make a 3-point basket. That little timeout is over. Mississippi State's going to inbound the pass, and Kentucky is going to extend their defense and try to retard the progress of the ball up the floor. Only 5 seconds on the clock. They put it in the hands of Jamont Gordon. Gordon driving it up the floor. Gordon pulling it up, firing for 3. Got it! With the clock running out, Gordon just hit the 3 and got it. This ball game is tied. Tie ball game at 76. Gordon hits a 3-pointer at the buzzer.
Yes. Okay. 2007 again, I believe. 2007 SEC tournament. Kentucky beating Mississippi State by 3. Jamont Gordon goes length of the court, hits a long 3, and expertly called by Jack Crystal. We probably could have edited that a little sharper because we had a little bit too much at the top there. But, man, the excitement in Jack Crystal's voice and the roar of the crowd at the same time gets me going. I mean, it fires me up. It gets me ready. Now, those three I don't want to say they were obscure, but certainly the game against Kentucky in the SEC tournament, not really that lasting, not that big of a deal. The Auburn game in 2007, not all that big of a deal. But this one of the great calls, one of the great games in the last 30 years at Mississippi State, and probably ever. Give it to us.
25 seconds left to play. Bulldogs have 2 more shots at the end zone if they don't lose possession on 3rd down. They're at the 11-yard line. This crowd is alive. Wyatt from the shotgun, 2 backs alongside. Auburn in a 4-man front. Wyatt gets the ball. Wyatt back to throw. Wyatt looks, fires toward the end zone. Passes, caught for touchdown by Matthew Butler.
Matthew Butler, Jack, what a catch! I thought that was going to be intercepted. The defender for Auburn jumped in front of Butler and went through his arms, and Butler gets it, John Carrero.
Steve, you're exactly right. We got a, penalty for, celebration, but who gives a flip? But, I don't know how Matt Butler caught that football, because as you said, the Auburn defender was right there, and he just kept great concentration and held on to the football.
Got some bonus John Carrero there because he don't give a flip. He does not give a flip. Jack Crystal calling the Mississippi State-Auburn game in 1999. Mississippi State down 16-3 in the 4th quarter. Comes back, takes the lead 18-16 with that incredible pass from Matt Wyatt to Matthew Butler. Threw it between 8 defenders. One guy had a great shot at it. But Matthew Butler caught it. It started an incredible season of comebacks, 8-0 going into Alabama. Finished up 10-2, beating Clemson in the Peach Bowl, 99 until 2014, the greatest season I had ever experienced. And that game is probably outside of the Egg Bowl number 1, and we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. But outside of the Egg Bowl, I think that Auburn win was the most iconic moment of 99, a season filled with them. And that call right there, Jack Crystal setting the stage and telling you what was happening. It gets no better than that. Jack Crystal, the greatest to ever do this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Well, actually, just thank you for listening because I'm dropping the podcast off here. Well, we'll do that after. Look at this. Look at this. So on the screen right here, if you're listening on podcast, I have been given something by my producer. Apparently, it's a brochure or a flyer for Bounce Back, how to leverage your past into a much bigger future. I would have expected it to be how to leverage a whole bunch of booster money into a much bigger future. But apparently, it is a retreat, a faith-based retreat and journey with 2 of the top coaches in the country, Hugh and Jill Freeze, Michael and Natalie Burt. A faith-based retreat and journey with 2 of the top coaches in the country. Participants will learn how to navigate uncertainty. I guess you tweet at people and tell them if they have hard evidence of a violation to send it to Ole Miss at Compliance. The psychology of belief. How to win at the highest levels in pressure situations. How much pressure was it in Tampa when he called that escort? How to change an entire culture and region. That can't be serious. Who wrote this? How to handle national criticism. Well, you don't create a retreat in Seaside, Florida. Okay. How to build relationships when your marriage gets tested. I think the relationship you built got your marriage tested. How to strengthen your faith during extreme situations. I can't make a joke of that. Everybody needs to strengthen their faith during extreme situations. But here's my problem with this. Ole Miss fans are even turning on Hugh Freeze now, which took forever, but it's happening. But here's my problem with it. Usually when a coach resigns in disgrace or something happens to him, he goes through a redemption period, maybe gets another job, and then he starts telling the story, and then he starts saying, this is what happened to me. I was wrong. I got redeemed. I got a second chance, and here's my story. Hugh Freeze has decided to skip all of that second part. He resigned in disgrace and then went straight into the speaking circuit, went straight into charging people $4,000 to come get phony marriage advice, went straight into being this character and this superstar of, well, I fell from grace, but here's my advice. I don't care about your advice. I have a wife. Oh my God. Who's going to pay for that? Now, there will be some extreme Ole Miss people who pay for it. We're talking about 10 people. I think most of the Ole Miss fan base is probably moving on to their credit. But who's paying for that? I just don't know. Maybe you can have Andy Cannizaro as a guest speaker, you know? Charge $50 extra. Call it a three-way. I don't know. Thanks, Landshark. I was almost ending the podcast, and you throw that at me. On the podcast, my name is Brandon Walker. I appreciate you being here. We'll be back tomorrow. This has been More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast, presented by SEC Country. Hey, Landshark. Honeymoon ideas. Honeymoon. I know you'll have to wait till October, but go down there and hang out with Hugh Freeze. Yes? Yes? No? No. Okay. It's only $4,000 to get marriage advice from Hugh freaking Freeze. It's like me giving advice on how to not look goofy. It's like Hey Dad giving dieting tips. I just don't understand what's happening. Who's going to pay $4K to spend 4 days with them? $4K wouldn't even get you a visit to Ole Miss in the last couple of years. I don't know. Let's not make it about that. But that's ridiculous. How big is your lack of self-awareness that you're trying to cash in on the fact that you were a bad person this quickly without even apologizing properly for it? The best is how to handle national criticism. The regular guy definitely needs that skill. Brad Griffith, if I were to want to handle national criticism, the last person I'm going to go to is the guy who melted down on Twitter and told people to email Ole Miss compliance. He had no idea how to handle national criticism. None whatsoever. He ruined Ole Miss football because of how poor he was with handling national criticism. Just signed up to be a monthly contributor. Jason Cockrell, thank you very much. So who are the top coaches speaking at that retreat? Didn't hear any big names. I don't even know who the other guy is. I have no idea who that is. That's Ole Miss's bye week too, says Shane Harrison. Wow. And you know he did that on purpose. That's incredible. I almost admire him now. Because he knows he'll get Ole Miss money. He knows he'll get that. So what do you guys think of the ideas for the podcast, the video show, the website? What do you guys think about that? I'd like to get your opinions as we go forward, because it's going to be a massive undertaking for me, but I just can't work for anybody anymore. I don't want to be building a huge podcast, a nice following. I don't want to be doing this, putting this much effort into it, and then a guy in a suit somewhere just says, oh, I don't want that company anymore, let him go. I can't do that anymore. So what do you guys think? Do we go to More Cowbell to contribute? John Stringer, I'm going to have a GoFundMe or just a PayPal account set up for the show very soon if you want to do a one-time donation. Patreon is a monthly thing. If you want to get $5 a month, $10 a month, we'll have a subscription there to get special podcast content. Reg Callahan says, can I send cash? If you would like, you can email me at morecowbellshow@gmail.com, morecowbellshow@gmail.com, and I'll give you an address if you want to send a check. That'd be fine. I think you have to have the best podcast to ever be, says Michael Clyburn. Thank you very much. I think the podcast will be great, says Grady Stokes. PayPal works. Steve C., I have PayPal. If you want to message me or email me at morecowbellshow@gmail.com, I have PayPal. I have Venmo as well. Or I can, I can set up a retreat. The idea you had for a retreat earlier in West Point is a good one. If Hugh Freeze can have a retreat to talk about all that BS he's going to talk about, why can't I have a retreat? We can stay at the Days Inn on Highway 45 in West Point. We can have our meetings at the Tin Lizzie. And I can tell you how to create national criticism. I can tell you how to fall behind on your bills. I can tell you all these things. I wish Landshark and Terp could join you, says Traquan Key. No, they're good. He's going to New York. She's getting married. They both got money. They don't need me. Brandon, will you be retaining the same logo? Bill Anderson. Landshark, I wonder how quickly you could do this. No, I'm not retaining the same logo. I've had a new logo commission. Can you go to facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show? Can you pull that logo and show it on the screen? It should be very easy. I'll have that logo up on the screen in about, since she's doing it, about probably 2 weeks. No, maybe in about 20 to 30 seconds. I like your plans, Brandon, says Chad Mask. I own my own business, and there's nothing like working for yourself. It comes with a whole different kind of worries and headaches, but it's still good stuff. Reg Callahan says, then meet Hugh at the Pony. Mm-hmm. Breeze Walker Retreat at the Pony. If it wasn't for your show, I would not have found Bulldog Sports Radio. Well, that's not good, Sinbad. They're a competitor of mine. They do fine. They do fine. They're nice kids. This is what I look forward to every day at 10:45 Central Standard Time. I have my phone ready. Thank you, Landon Miles. I appreciate that. Bill Anderson says, I've seen it and love it. Well, no, Bill, we're going to get the logo up. She's already making the effort. Everybody's going to have to see the new logo. You're just going to have to. We got an update on that, Landshark? Are you looking up online menus at Ajax or something? Okay. Message board with lifetime subscriptions, Wardlaw style? No, probably not. Probably not. What time will your podcast be? Tracy Davis, undetermined. But I do think instead of the way we do it now, currently I do the podcast and the Facebook Live at the same time. Soon I will have the podcast and the Facebook Live, and they will be separate entities, I believe. Do live shows in the Junction on game days. Martin Smith. Yes. I am going to reach out later in the summer to people if they want to host More Cowbell at their tailgate. We're going to give people the chance to do that. There's the logo. There it is. More Cowbell with Brandon Walker. The new logo for my show. Hopefully I'll have that on some merchandise soon. It's got a very white background. Looks very small, but that's okay. More Cowbell with Brandon Walker. Done by Matt Warren of Mississippi State, Point City, excuse me. Think we could get you to come do a show at the Tupelo Buffalo Wild Wings? A lot of state fans keep up with you, including the owner. Nick Stevens? Yes, absolutely. I would do a show there. And I'm definitely going to have shows at the Brandon Walker Smoking Lounge at the Smokestack in West Point, Mississippi. What is the game schedule for the baseball team in Omaha? Danny E. Pinter. We play at 7 p.m. Saturday night. And depending on if we win or we lose, that will determine the second game. Friday shows, yes, we will have Friday shows.
I have a question.
Yes.
How does the baseball college thing work?
Okay, there are two brackets of 4.
Okay.
It's double elimination. Okay, 2 brackets of 4. We'll play Washington. Oregon State will play North Carolina on Monday night. The winners play. Or actually, on
one game.
Monday afternoon, the losers play, and one will be eliminated. Monday night, the winners play. One will be safe. One will go play the other eliminated team, and it'll just be 2. It's 2 4-team tournaments, okay. And at the end, the 2 winners play in a 2 out of 3 series.
Got it. Only the final is 2 out of 3?
Yes. Great logo. You know we will buy the merch. I hope so. Jarrell Williams Akins. My buddies host the Ultimate Fan Tailgate in front of Dorman. I'm sure they'd love for you to come to their tailgate. Lynn Rhodes Gilmer says, I try to plan my day around your show. And that's the point. Lynn Rhodes Gilmer is here every single day. Every day. No matter what I do, Lynn Rhodes Gilmer is here, along with a lot of you. And I plan to make that community bigger, more exclusive. I'm going to give you state content. I'm going to give you content from a fan's perspective, because sports writing, frankly, is boring. It's boring, and they don't get to have the personality I do. And frankly, if they did get to have it, they wouldn't have it anyway, because I'm terrific. But I plan to give you Mississippi State coverage from this point of view, a funny point of view, a fun point of view, and it's going to be a 24/7 experience, I hope. I have a fun story for you, Brandon. My dad's best man had a radio in his ear listening to the 86 Egg Bowl at his wedding. He was giving updates throughout the wedding. Wow, I've been to one of those. I've had updates passed to me during I think 2003, I had some updates passed to me at a wedding. When will T-shirts with the new logo be available? Hey, Maroon & Company, holler at me. I don't know. I haven't got the T-shirts planned out yet. I need about 3,500, 4,000 to get off the ground. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Somebody says, LOL, Tim Dillard. Who is Tim Dillard? Is that the pitcher from the Brewers? I try to be here daily. Darn meetings at work messing up with the flow, says Harvey Smith. I look forward to your show every day. Keep up the great work. Russell Berry. I guess you can't be friends with Brian Haydad after July 1st. You know, one of the things I talked about was going to Bulldog Sports Radio, but I just figured this is better. This is better. Well, it's 12:30 already. Land Shark, you ready to go? Put my logo up one more time. Don't roll your eyes at me. I think Piano Man's the best Billy Joel song. I just want to say that. There's my logo again. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. Check that out. That's where we'll be. Please give that a like. Tell your friends to give it a like. Share it. Tell all your friends. Or tell your enemies. I don't care. You might have more enemies than friends. You might be like me. About the restaurant visiting, my family has a fish camp in Causeyville. I'll have to talk to them about it. Lane Davis, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Stiletto is the best, says Carolyn Crane Lindley. Chris Bell says, go LSU Tigers, because Chris Bell apparently hit his head as a kid. Easier to be here every day without a classroom full of kids. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, hey, Bonnie. Why can't I say that name? Hey, Bonnie. Terrible tragedy has befallen our friend in Brazil, says Matt Weisinger. Ignacio. So I have had a Brazil guy that's been on the show and watched the show many times. Apparently there's some sort of problem with Ignacio. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, I will find that out, and we will have an update on that tomorrow, because this one right here is ready to go. This one is very ready to go. She's ready to go eat. So my name is Brandon Walker. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. Please email me. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow to do something. You've been watching. Boy, you ran through those fast. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.